Hello, YouTube. This is Ryan, aka the Habitual Line Stepper, coming back at you with another video. I hope this video has found you well. And if you're not at peace, I hope you're pursuing your peace. And if you're at peace, I hope you're maintaining your peace. If you've been following my channel, one of my main things is peace and pursuing your peace, maintaining your peace. It took me a lot to get to this point in my life where I am completely at peace. Does some stresses come up now and then? Yes, it does. But it doesn't linger long. One of the best things I did on my quest to obtain the peace that I currently have was becoming debt free. Financial peace is probably one of the greatest things I have ever done for myself. Not having to worry about debt has helped me tremendously. I mean, I probably had about the same amount kind of debt that most people had. I had car loans that I had taken out. I was silly enough to co-sign on a car loan. Let's see, I had student loan debt. I had leased a vehicle. Um, I hadn't done anything such as payday loans or anything like that, but you get the point. And when I was in debt, I felt like I was in prison because it felt like I was just working to pay off debt or pay bills. Not even pay off debt, just to be able to make payments on the debt, which if you're making the minimum payments, it's going to take you forever to basically pay that off. And, coming out of, school a long time ago, you come out and, you start buying stuff. You start making decisions. And, and when you're young, unless you've been taught how to handle your finances, you really don't know what you're doing. I know I did. And so, I made some poor decisions. I made some decisions where I look back now, I just kind of cringe. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. And so it felt like I was working all the time. It felt like constantly every dollar I had was just going to somebody else. Rent, food, day-to-day bills, debt that I had to pay. And I tell you, those creditors, if you fall behind one bill, one payment, they are on you. All that nice talk that they were saying at the table when you were, or on the phone, or when you were signing off on that new debt or that line of credit, everything's all pleasant. But you miss one payment, you find out what is real. That they get real on you. They will hound you. They will do everything. They'll call you a job. They'll do everything in their power to make your life a living hell until they get that money. I mean, I even had one time. They were talking to me about, do you have a family member you can borrow from? I was like, well, if that's the case, I would just ask them for the money. So it was tough when I was young. Like I said, I made some poor decisions, and like I said, work felt like I just wasn't making any leeway. It was like I was constantly in the hole. And so one day I decided, you know what? I'm not going to work my entire life just to be paying off debt. I want to enjoy some things. I want to experience life. I want to, I want to have some fun too. All my money shouldn't be gone, from check to check. Living check to check is a horrible way to live. I mean, you're working long hours. You may not get along with some coworkers. Your boss may be overbearing. If you have a social life, or a significant other, you're there. There's pressure there because you can't do what you normally would do if you had some money. You can't take them out. You can't go out, and fully enjoy yourself because you're constantly looking at the tab. So I got to the point where I was tired of all that. I said I got to make a change because I can't. This is not sustainable. This is not something I refuse to do for the rest of my life. I had to get smarter. I had to get smarter. There was no doubt about it. I said I have to get smarter. So what I did, I took a hard look at myself. I said, you know what? It wasn't, and you know what the thing about it was for me, it wasn't like I was overspending. And I needed the newest this and newest that. I just put my money towards things that I could have just used my, just either did without or find a way to pay for it eventually with cash. But again, when you're starting out as a young person, you really don't have much going on. And that was the issue. I mean, your car break down, your car's no longer good. You figure, well, I don't have cash to buy a new car, so only thing I could do is finance it. So you kind of put in a hard spot. But as I grew in my career and my salary went up, I found that I had a little bit extra. And so what I did was I applied it to my debt. Rather than take that extra and just increase my lifestyle, I said, no, I'm going to live within my means. I'm going to cut as much stuff out as I can. And any increases I have, I put it towards that debt. And some people may be familiar with the snowball debt, start off with the smallest debt and end with the largest. That's what I did. I just continued to pay off my smallest debt until that debt was gone. And then the money that I was putting towards that debt, in addition to those payments that they had, that you had the minimum payments that you had to make, and I put it towards the next debt. And until I became debt free. And it was about a 3-year process, if I recall correctly. And there was times where I was like, man, I just wish I could, I wish I could just do some things during that 5 years. I was really wanting to, just spread my wings and go out and do some stuff. Let me say this though. Before I started paying off my debt, I did decide to save about $15,000. I did do that. I saved about $15,000 first. Some people say $1,000 emergency fund. Something about me, once I got to the point where I started getting increases in pay or I changed careers and I started getting this extra money, and then I said, you know what? I said, I want to say, I want to see what it feels like to save, because prior to that, it looks like anytime I try to save something, a bill would come by or a unexpected payment or something like that would come by, and I would just wind up going back down to zero. So when I started changing careers and being more frugal with my money and better and smarter with my decisions, instead of taking out additional debt, I either did without, or I decided, you know what? Anytime I get an increase, I'm just going to pay off whatever I can. And so that's what I did. And so once I did that, I remember I got down to my last big one, and that was my student loan. And I owed around $15,000 for it. And I looked back, and I said to myself, just end it right now. Just clean out that debt right now with the $15,000 that you saved. Because for some people, they'd be like, man, that's 15,000. No, I could. I don't know. But I decided. I said, you know what? If I get rid of if I get rid of this student loan debt, going forward, all the money that I make, except for, of course, what the government gets, is my money. I get that $15,000 back real quick. And so what I did was I dropped that 15 G's on that student loan, paid the student loan off, the remaining balance off. And when I got to zero, I swear, I wanted to cry. Because at that point, I knew everything in my financial life was going to change, was going to filter into every other aspect of my life. Because I could start being the person that I wanted to be. Start doing the things that I want to do, And when I say the person I want to be, I don't want to have to stress. I want to be able to do things. If I could help somebody, I want to be able to just help people. I didn't want to have to just be like, oh man, now I don't know if I can do that. Now I know I can do that. If I see a person in need, I can help. I have helped people. I have turned into a blessing to people. So with that being said, once I got to zero, it was nothing but up from there because I said I'm not going back into debt. That's just not going to happen. So I just started saving and saving and saving and saving until my emergency fund was basically, it's to the point now where I feel like I'm bulletproof. I mean, I feel like I'm really solid, and it would take. Let me put it this way: a lot of people would be suffering for me to go through my emergency fund. Like I said, if the bottom fell out of the economy, a lot of people gonna suffer, right along with me. Because if I lose it all, there's gonna be a lot of people hurting. And so, because like I said, I'm no longer in the state where I have to rob Peter to pay Paul, live check to check. So for me to blow through my emergency fund at this stage of my life or the reserves, I got to the point where my emergency fund has emergency fund, and it is empowering. And with that being said, you will be surprised how dramatically your life will change. And when you share this with people, they're not going to fully understand because most people are brainwashed into thinking that debt is a natural part of living in these United States. That there is such thing as good debt, which I totally disagree. There's such thing as good money, positive position in your bank account, growth in your net worth. If something happens, you own everything. I own everything. Everything I have, I own. And so I don't have to worry about somebody, a creditor taking anything away from me. And it's peace of mind. I'm telling you, to get there is giving you tremendous peace. You can be a better you. Less things irritate you because hey, if I can get through something like that, I can get through anything. Certain stressors, property tax come due, you know, a payment comes through. It's no big deal. Emergency come through. No, this it's an inconvenience. It's irritating, but you're like, hey, I got it, and I'm glad I got it. I'm blessed to have it. So another key tool I use is budgeting. Now, I'm not a real stickler in terms of every single, penny, but I know that once certain basic necessities, the place, you stay, or where you stay, the gas for your cars, your food, once those things have been paid off, cell phone bill, whatever, once you pay off, your day to day, I'm pretty much good. And of course, saving and investing, that's another thing. I make sure I save and invest, every month, every check, money's going into my savings and checking, and yeah, so it gives you, like I said, it gives you a cushion that gives you peace, and you can be, like I said, you could, when you go to certain places, if you're traveling, you don't have to worry about the things that some people worry about. Your trip is paid for because you pay for it in cash. I'm to the point now where I pay cash for my cars. I just do. I don't want to deal with monthly bills. If I can help it. The only thing I want to deal with is, if I'm paying for like a streaming service, gas, food, stuff like that. I don't want to worry about nothing else. Nothing. I don't want to worry about no payments. I don't worry about missing a payment. I don't care about none of that. I cleared that out of my life so I can be the better me, so I can not have to worry about anything, because there's enough to worry about in this life. If you have your own family, you're constantly worried about you making sure your kids are good, making sure your wife is good. You're worried about things beyond your, things that are beyond your control that may impact you. You have so much to worry about. You have to worry about making sure you're taking care of your health, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Making sure you're making certain appointments, making sure you're working every day. There's so much that goes into this American experience. You want to minimize it. And one of the things that you do not want to worry about is money, if you can help it. Now, I know all of us come from different demographics and we're dealing with different situations in our life, and I understand that. What I'm saying to you is that if you're able to get out of debt, because debt is drowning you, you should do so. If your issue is spending, if your issue is that you're leveraged out of your mind, everything you own is well, I should say, you don't own anything. Everything is bought by credit, so you owe everything. Student loans, I know they're wild, and I know a lot of the new. I got played back in the day. I'm a Gen Xer. I got played because the same lie that was told to the current generation now is what was told to us. There'll be a job, waiting for you once you get your degree. So that's a good investment by acquiring that debt for student loans. And then when I got out, after spending 4 years in college, I'm being told I need 2 years of actual management, to get an entry level management position job, which was ridiculous. So although it's different because the cost of going to college has gone up, even when I went to school it was high, but damn, now it's ridiculous. I mean, so I get it. It's worse in that regard. But as far as the same play, it was the same play. So I had to grind. It was hard. I took jobs I didn't want to take. I took jobs that I literally hated. It was. Oh my God. When I think about it, some of the situations that I was in made me mad, but it also made me stronger and made me wiser, because I realized that once I got out of debt, I would have some say so in terms of what career I sought, or where I land, or what I take on. For me, once I started leveling up, and money became less and less of a factor in terms of having it, and I was able to not have to tolerate intolerable people, intolerable situations. It changed everything about myself. I walk different, I talk different, I think different. I'm able to give, and I have like I said, I've given money. Don't and I don't loan. If I see someone who has a actual need, and the person is, how can I say it, is sincere and they're truthful, and I have knowledge of this person, I know this person, I have no problem giving money, and I will not ask for anything back, because in my eyes, I want to be a blessing to people who deserve it. And it gives me a freedom, because at the end of the day, I realize you can't take it with you. Now, while I'm here, I plan on living a good life. I plan on traveling more. I plan on, doing everything that I want to do while I'm on this planet. While I still got breath in my lungs, and my mind and my body is sound. However, I realize you can't take this with you. And when you see good people who you care about deeply, and they have a need, I have no problem helping. And I don't care, like I said, it's not about the money. I don't give it unless it's in my heart. And I wish that person well. I want that person to be successful. I want that person to grow. I want that person to never have to worry about money again, and so they can live their full life. And that, to me, like I said, is the power of being debt free. It gives you the ability to acquire more wealth, because when you're working that money, you have a better opportunity to save and invest, and with wisdom, that money will grow. And so with me, like I said, being debt free has been powerful. It has helped me. It has enhanced me. It has made me a better person, because I understand now that although money is not everything, not having to worry about money is everything. And I'm not saying I'm a millionaire or anything like that. I'm saying I am more than satisfied with where I'm at. I would not change where I'm at with anybody in the world. There's nobody I look at that I envy, because I built this. I did this. This is something, I don't care what no one else got going on. You're not moving this. This is me. So I'm proud of me. And if you're debt free, or you're on your way to be debt free, realize that it's a beautiful thing, and that, you know, once you're debt free, you'll realize that your eyes, your focus on things will change. Your ideas on things will change outside of money. So with that being said, if you got anything from this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. I would appreciate it. I'm looking for engagement. Hopefully this channel will grow. I'm going to keep at it. I'll be consistent, kind of like when I paid off my debt. I was just consistent. So I hope you're at peace. I hope this video finds you well. If you're not at peace, pursue your peace with everything you got. Thank you. Let's get it.